All right, this is One Last Midnight, and welcome back to another episode of Astroneer. So yesterday, System Error put on a live stream to talk about the creative update and future information that, pertains to us within the next month and 2 months. And there was a big, giant announcement. So, we're all been patiently waiting for dedicated servers to come out. They've been talking about it for a very long time. And we're gonna have to wait some more. Dedicated servers are not quite ready. So they will not be out in the November 15th update. That's really, really unfortunate. But you know what? For me personally, fine. Hey, get it done right. I'm okay with it being pushed a little bit. So they will be doing a closed beta test in December. And that means the server code is not going to ship until 2020, the beginning of 2020. Now, the good news that did come out of this is that the server code is going to be able to be run on PC. So we're all going to be able to host our own dedicated servers. And that's a great thing because, hey, look, not everybody has extra money to throw at a serving company to be able to host their own server. And maybe your computer is good enough to be able to handle it. And if it can, then you can run your own deal and have people come in. The main reason for the delay is because of, the ability for people to be able to host their own servers. Now, this caused some problems with some of the restrictions on console devices, and they're working to figure it out. You will still be able to get a server from their preferred provider, which is Nitrado, but you can now host your own. And the server price for the Nitrado servers is completely unknown. There was talk about server management controls. There will be server management controls. There's a complete new UI overhaul for the server management. Unfortunately, there's not going to be any LAN claims, so you're just going to have to trust people that you invite to your server not to destroy whatever creations that you might make. There are no current ability to teleport to other players. That is something that they're going to be looking at in the future, and there's not going to be any game chat initially. You will, however, be able to protect your server with a password. And there's also a whitelisting. So you can specifically invite people into your server, have your server open, and, not worry about anybody else coming in except for the people that are on your whitelist. I thought that was a great addition to their server code. Joe and Sam did mention that this is like very similar to, the old style Minecraft server setup where you're hosting your own server and people are just coming to that IP address and you can give it nicknames and stuff like that. So if you played Minecraft and you've done any kind of Minecraft hosting, that's kind of the interface that we're going to be experiencing. Something similar to that. You can upload your saves onto your dedicated server. Now they said for PC, but I'm making the assumption of what they meant was from your home PC. You contact your host provider and you wind up getting into the directory and uploading your save there. I think that's what they meant. I'm not entirely sure if there is an in-game interface that allows you to upload to your server. The total number of players on a server is going to be a maximum of 8. Now, they did talk about if you're running your own machine, that's really going to be dependent upon the hardware that you're running and the kind of performance that you have on your machine. So you might have some problems hosting 8 people on your own server, but for their preferred provider, the maximum is going to be 8. And I mean, the maximum period is going to be 8, whether it's your own personal or whether it's their preferred provider. Console servers, they kind of backed away from that question. They'll give more details on it later, but they're making the assumption that the preferred provider will be able to have some sort of servers that's available for console or for PS4. Now, cross-platform play. Sam stated that the goal is to have everybody playing together. Now, that's what they would really like to have happen. But they need to do some work, and mainly it's the requirements between Microsoft and Sony allowing people to do cross-platform play. So they're looking into that, and they're trying to figure out if it is possible to be able to allow everybody to play together in the same environment. Hopefully they can, but it's going to be based off of the restrictions of those particular companies that might possibly block the effort. Currently, right now, Sony does allow crossplay, but I think that the holdup might be Microsoft. Well, who knows? We'll see. So they talked about the multiplayer co-op mode, which is already in the game right now. And there is going to be another push on performance, which is also going to include, changes to the multiplayer co-op mode. So hopefully, that built-in co-op experience, we're going to be able to continue to keep using, and it's going to get better as time goes on. There were some questions about physical copy for the exodynamics manual. And if, you haven't seen the images that continue to keep popping up every time they put out a new item, people are talking about wanting an actual physical book on it. Now, that would be really cool. I think that would be a nice little coffee table item to have. And they are actively working on it. For people that are getting the PS4 suit, which is called the control suit, is specifically for PS4. It is not going to be for PC or Xbox console. This is your own suit that you get for PS4. And, that's it, man. That's all they said. So, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Hey, look, this is specifically for the PS4 guys. Everybody else kind of get over it. Xbox will, in this next release, get some sort of cosmetic update. It's not a suit, but they're going to get something a little bit special too, so they can kind of sport their own thing. There was some questions again about performance outside of the multiplayer. And yes, as part of that multiplayer performance update, they called it the performance overhaul. There will be just a general performance overhaul that'll happen sometime in the near future. Now let's go on to talk about the creative update. And so from here on out, there's going to be spoilers. So if you guys don't want to see anything about the creative update and or the future content that's coming out in December, my suggestion to you would be shut off the video. Okay, so the terrain tool, Joe showed off the new model of the terrain tool that's coming out in creative mode. There's a cool new complete design for the terrain tool where you can see the color in which you're painting on. It looks kind of neat. It almost kind of looks like a double shotgun kind of thing. It's a big fat tool, double the size. Well, I won't say double the size, but bigger than the current existing terrain tool. And he also showed off the new color sampler as well. So ways that you can sample the color in your environment. Joe showed off flight controls that are inside of creative mode. So you don't have to walk from place to place. There will be an ability to be able to fly around so you can get from point A to point B and, do whatever you're doing in creative. There will be options that are specific to the creative mode, which will be does your player require oxygen or power? And that's part of what he insinuated. That's part of some sort of UI toggles that will be on the menu or interface in there. He didn't get into specifics on it, nor did he show a picture on it. He just kind of referred to there will be some way for you to toggle those on and off. Remember that the Aatrox event is going to end on November 15th. So when creative mode comes out, you're no longer going to be able to get, the visors that are available on Aatrox. So make sure that you guys do that now before you lose the opportunity to get those. Joe also mentioned that there's not really going to be any new items in the creative mode. I mean, creative mode in and of itself has a lot of new things and a lot of things that have been incorporated into the existing gameplay, but there's not going to be anything specifically brand new like a new platform or a new, resource or anything along those lines, as part of creative mode. But of course, the new terrain tools and new features that are creative mode are going to be in the game. So for those of you who are True Flat fans, True Flat is not quite there yet. They've made some changes in creative mode to kind of help get there, but there still needs more work to be able to pull off True Flat. So don't expect True Flat to be in creative mode on November 15th. Joe had kind of showed off the backpack UI. I don't know if he meant to do that, but he was getting something out of the backpack and kind of gave us a little sneak peek of the backpack. He didn't get into any of the details of what's in there, but you can see that there's several new tabs that look kind of interesting. And he did wind up spawning an item out of the backpack. So it looks like that we're going to be able to create items directly out of the backpack for creative mode, which looks really cool. He did show off the LOD anchor, which is LOD is level of detail. And there's these anchors that you can place down. He said that you can place down 7 of them or have 7 of them active at once. which locks in the fidelity of the terrain. So when you move away, far away from it, you maintain that level of fidelity regardless of distance. So even in space, so if you make something and you put it on the surface and you surround it with these LOD anchors, you can maintain the fidelity and see it from space. You know, there was some talk about terrain desyncing and the issues of terrain desyncing, and this kind of caught me as really important. There is a fix for the terrain desync, but it comes at a cost. So for those of you who have destroyed large portions of the environment, such as, let's say, a mountain, or I'm assuming if you've dug like huge portions inside of the caves, there is a possibility that some of that terrain will come back from your old saves. And this is going to affect all saves. Now, he did say that, you know, once this is in place and you deal with that terrain that comes back, you will never have to deal with that terrain ever again. So it'll be a one-time thing only, but expect it to happen because it's going to happen. Well, it's going to happen if you wound up doing massive terrain projects. There will be more information on the vlog that's supposedly supposed to be coming out probably next week about Creative Update, and I'm sure there'll be a bunch more leaks about Creative Update in that vlogging video. All right, finally, let's move on to December, because there was a lot of talk about December as well. And one of the cool things is Joe put up a picture of the December, what's going to be in December update. And it's kind of interesting if you look at this, that there's this huge blue box, and then you can see some presents off in the corner, and there's something off to the horizon on the far right-hand side. But December is going to be about community. So we're going to be working together in a community project, which I thought was extremely cool. I mean, I love this concept of us as an Astroneer community working together towards something. I thought that's a great addition to the gameplay that they're adding in, right? So this is a different type of event where we're all working together towards one particular goal. And Joe had alluded that it is going to be a very important goal, and it's something that we're going to feel really good about. So it's an important thing, and it's a good thing, and we're going to feel real good about it. So I'm thinking like Toys for Tots or something along those Make-A-Wish Foundation or something like that, that is going to help out one of those like events or some sort of community. But I might be completely wrong and off base. But I really look forward to doing it. So, like I said, that is going to be something that is in December, and the screenshot kind of shows what's going on. Now, there was a lot of other things towards the end of the stream that is noteworthy, and we're going to go ahead and mention them. So I had asked a specific question about the space snail, and Joe kind of gave this reaction where he says he can't say anything about it. So, but you know, the look on his face was kind of like, okay, you know, I know something you don't know. The next roadmap is going to be sometime in December, so they can lay out what's beyond the current roadmap. Gina had asked about water bottles, and there was a lot of questions about merchandise. And Joe had said that merchandise is something that he's currently working on. So that's going to be kind of interesting. And then on top of that, there was some sort of questions regarding, hey, can we purchase cosmetics via the store? Or even Joe alluded that you could purchase these PAL keys via the store, which is great. I mean, you know, Astroneer is, after you pay the initial price for it, they're giving you an enormous amount of content for free. It's not a DLC. It's not, you know, an addition to the game that you have to pay for. It's something that you're getting right out of the box. And so at some point in time, they're going to need to have another revenue stream. And this is a possible way for continued revenue to keep development of Astroneer going. And I think, hey, man, take my money because I'm happy to give it to you. I think it's a great concept. Do not do DLCs and give us some other way that we can have like cosmetics or, you know, there's items that we can purchase from you guys directly from System Era that will, you know, help fund the next level of Astroneer development. I'm in. I'm all the way in. I'm in with my credit card. So let's go because I want it. Anyways, that's it. I'm sorry that this video took so long. There was so much to unpack in the live stream. There was an enormous amount of information that was given out. I highly recommend you watch the whole thing. I tried to do my best to give you the most important pieces of information, but I'm sure that there was more that I missed. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, please think about joining our community. We have a great group of people in our community. If you want to follow me on any of my social media, you can find the links in the description below. And make sure you hit that notification bell, because that'll let you know when I go live and when I post new videos. I hope to talk to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.